Today, I'm going to talk about a very important part of your advanced level economics syllabus, which is money demand, a major topic of your money and banking lesson, your 7th lesson. So, what do we call by money demand? Or else, what do we mean by demand for money? We say money demand is the preference of people. What do we mean by the preference? Preference is the willingness, the likeliness. මිනිසුන්ගේ කැමැත්ත. Preference of people to keep money. To keep money. මුදල් ළඟ තබා ගන්න මිනිස්සුන්ට තියෙන කැමැත්ත. Preference of people to keep money with them in the form of money itself. මුදල් ලෙස ළඟ තබා ගැනීමට මිනිස්සුන්ට තියෙන කැමැත්තට අපි කියනවා money demand කියලා. Preference of people I'm just dividing the major parts of that definition so you can understand and remember well. Preference of people to keep money with them, not with someone else, not in somewhere else, not in a bank. Likewise, preference of people to keep money with them means in their hands, not somewhere else, right? With them in the form of money itself. Preference of people. We say preference means what? The willingness or else the likeliness to keep money with them in the form of money itself. Simply that means මිනිස්සුන්ට අපි සිංහලෙන් කිව්වොත් එහෙම මිනිස්සුන්ට මුදල් ලෙසින්ම තමන්ගේ ළඟ තියාගන්න තියෙන අවශ්‍යතාවයට අපි කියනවා නැත්නම් කැමැත්තට උවමනාවට අපි කියනවා මුදල් ඉල්ලුම කියලා, money demand කියලා. So you might have this question, why people demand money? Why people prefer to keep money with them in the form of money itself rather than putting somewhere else? There are 3 reasons behind why people demand money. 3 reasons. What are they? Transaction motive, precautionary motive, speculative motive. These are the 3 reasons behind why people demand money. Transaction motive, precautionary motive and speculative motive. So before moving into each and every motive, I could ask you whether money is having direct demand or an indirect demand. What's your answer? What will be your answer? Whether money is having a direct demand or indirect demand. We say, or else a derived demand. What will be your answer? So, before moving on to the answer, I would tell, direct demand means, actually direct demand is having for goods and services. In our first lesson, so in our very first lesson of our syllabus, we have talked about needs and wants, scarcity, alternative uses of resources, problem of choice, opportunity cost. Likewise, in that lesson we discussed actually in order to satisfy our basic human needs and wants, what do we need? We need goods and services. So, only because of consuming, using goods and services, we can satisfy, fulfill our needs and wants. So direct demand means the demand for goods and services. the demand for goods and services for what? To satisfy human needs and wants. So direct demand is having for goods and services. That means demanding goods and services to satisfy human needs and wants. People demand goods and services to satisfy own needs and wants. That is what we call direct demand. Actually, the meaning is, in simple terms, that means like in order to survive, we should satisfy our basic requirements. What do we call that? Our basic requirements that should be satisfied to survive for the existence. We tell that are needs. Those we call as needs. So what do we mean by wants? Wants are the different ways of satisfying needs. Different ways of satisfying needs. If I am having the need of food, if a person is having the need of food, that means I may have many alternatives, many ways. I could either have rice and curries, or a pizza maybe, or a piece of cake. It will be different from person to person. So needs and wants are like that. So we should satisfy our needs and wants in order to survive. So to fulfill our needs and wants, what do we directly need? We need goods and services. That's why direct demand is having for goods and services. So what do you think about this money demand? Is it a direct demand or indirect demand? Obviously, money demand is an indirect demand. Because why? Money, notes and coins, the bank money, the near money. We discuss about the types of money in this lesson before coming into money demand. So the electronic money. Likewise, these types of money, from those types of money, like from having money only, can we satisfy our needs and wants? From having money only? No, right? From the money we have, we should be able to purchase goods and services and utilize, consume and satisfy our needs and wants. Right? So that means money is having an indirect demand. Why? From money only we can't satisfy our goods and services. අපි සල්ලි තිබ්බ පළියට අපේ සල්ලි තිබ්බ පළියට අපිට අපේ needs and wants satisfy කරගන්න බෑ. නේ? අපිට ඒ සල්ලි යොදවලා ඒ සල්ලි use කරලා භාවිතා කරලා goods and services ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. ඒ හින්දා අපි directly demand කරන්න මොනවද? මිනිස්සු. Goods and services. අපේ අවශ්‍යතා හා උවමනා. In order to satisfy our needs and wants, we directly demand goods and services. So to purchase goods and services only, we need money. Money comes into being. මුදල් කියන්නේ එන්නේ එතනදී. අපිට බාහිර හා සේවා ගන්න ඕන නිසා තමයි අපි මුදල් ඉල්ලුම් කරන්නේ. That's why we demand money. So it's having an indirect demand. Now let's look into the very first reason behind why people demand money. Why people prefer to keep money with them. So this is the first reason. Transaction motive means people keeping money with them to satisfy day-to-day transactions. What's that? We'll repeat again. Keeping money with them to satisfy day-to-day transactions, to meet day-to-day transactions. So what are these day-to-day transactions? As an example, food requirement. We eat every day, right? For traveling, for transportation, we go for work, either by public transportation or private transportation. We need money to meet day-to-day expenses, to meet day-to-day transactions. That means keeping money for day-to-day transactions is what we call as transaction motive. Money demand on transaction motive. Keeping money for day-to-day transactions. Right? So what are the examples? foods, transportation, like facts. That is what we call money demand on transaction motive. The next thing you should know about transaction motive is this arise as a result of money act as a medium of exchange. I'll brief this. This means we know money is having four functions. There are four functions of money. What are they? Act as a medium of exchange. Huamaru මාධ්‍යයක් ලෙස කටයුතු කරනවා. Act as a store of value. වටිනාකමේ සම්නිධියක් ලෙස. Act as a unit of account. Fourth one, act as a standard of deferred payment. What are they? Act as a medium of exchange, act as a store of value, act as a unit of account, and act as a standard of deferred payment. So the money demand on transaction motive arise. Indirectly අපි කොහොමද කියන්නේ? People demand money on transaction motive because of money act as a medium of exchange. What do we mean by money acting as a medium of exchange? Money act as an intermediary in buying goods and services. අපි goods and services purchase කරන්නේ සල්ලි දීලා. Right? එතකොට යා intermediary කෙනෙක් විදිහට ඉන්නවා transactions වල. Money. අතරමැදිකරණයේ ඉන්නවා. අතරමැදියෙක් විදිහට money act as an intermediary. So this function arises as a result of money acting as a medium of exchange. Another thing is that this has a positive relationship with income. Positive relationship with income. What does that mean? When our income increases in economics, we represent income by capital Y. I know most probably you could have learned about this before. So when income increases, what happens? When income increases, we keep more money for day-to-day transactions than we kept before. Right? අපි කලින් තියාගත්තට වඩා එදිනෙදා ගනුදෙනු වලට day-to-day transactions වලට අද සල්ලි ළඟ තියා ගන්නවා. එතකොට that means money demand on transaction motive increases. So that means there's a positive relationship. When income decreases, money demand on transaction motive also decreases. There's a positive relationship. So how can we represent this? Using a graph. We have money demand, we have income in this axis. So it's a positive function. Money demand is a function of income. There's a positive relationship. When income increases, money demand also increases. There's a positive relationship between income and money demand on transaction motive. Another point regarding money demand on transaction motive is that since there's a time gap between two income receipts, people should keep money. What does this mean? Since there's a time gap between two income receipts, that means think about a person receiving monthly salary on 25th of July. So again he'll be receiving the next month's salary on 25th of which month? July, then August. So there's a time gap between two income receipts. Can you see? Income ලැබෙන receipts දෙකේ ලැබීම් දෙකේ time gap එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ instance එකේ මේ example එකේ ගත්තා මාසයක්ම තියෙනවා. There's a month between receiving two income receipts. So that means in order to satisfy our daily day-to-day transactions, what we discussed in transaction motive, we need to keep money within the whole month until the next income receipt happens. අපිට මාසේ දැන් අද 25 හම්බුනාට පස්සේ ඊළඟ මාසේ 25 හම්බෙනකම් ඒ සැලරි එක අපි සේව් කරගෙන මේ day to day transactions වලට allocate කරන්න නම් හැමදාම අපි ඒක තියාගන්න ඕන. මුදල් ළඟ තබා ගන්න ඕන. We should keep money to meet day to day transactions because there's a time gap between two income receipts. Now, the second reason behind why people demand money is precautionary motive. What do we mean by this? That means keeping money to meet unexpected or else unplanned situations, unplanned events. Keeping money to meet unplanned situations, to meet unexpected expenditures. Keeping money for unexpected, you say unplanned situations. But use transactions, it's better than using the word situations. Unexpected transactions, keeping money for unexpected transactions. What are the examples? Now, like natural disasters like flooding, natural disasters, for accidents, for any kind of accident. Likewise, we need to keep money for unexpected transactions. Earlier in transaction motive, we discussed about keeping money for day-to-day expenses, day-to-day transactions. Here, we should keep money for unexpected situations. When you become ill, you never know when you will be becoming ill. Also, when will you meet an accident? When will you face a natural disaster? Likewise, for unplanned transactions. The previous one is a planned transaction. You know you will be hungry. You will be in the need of food. You know you will be in the need of transportation to go from home to your workplace and to come back. Likewise, this is for unexpected transactions. So this motive, money demand and precautionary motive, is also arising from money act as a medium of exchange. Because money acts as an intermediary in transactions, people demand money on precautionary motive. Also, there's a positive relationship. There's a positive relationship between income and money demand on precautionary motive. Money demand on precautionary motive. අපිට අපේ ආදායම වැඩි වෙද්දි when our income rises, we keep more money for unexpected situations. අපි අපේ unplanned events වලට අපි ලෙඩක් හැදුණොත්, අපිට natural disaster එකකට face කරන්න වුණොත්, අපි හිතන්නේ නැති expense එකක් අපිට දරන්න වෙයි කියලා අපි මුදල් ළඟ තබා ගන්නවා. අපේ income එක වැඩි වෙද්දි අපි ඒ තියාගන්න මුදල වැඩි කරගන්නවා. So there's a positive relationship. When this decreases, money demand on precautionary motive is also decreasing. There's a positive relationship. How can we derive from a graph? Money demand, this is 0, this is y. Here also there's a positive relationship. Money demand is a function of income. When income increases, money demand on precautionary motive is also increasing. Third reason behind why people demand money is speculative motive. Speculative motive means demand for money money to gain future benefits, to gain future benefits by investing in bonds. Demand for money on speculative motive means demand for money to gain future benefits, to have future benefits, to have benefits in future by investing in bonds. Bonds වල invest කරලා අනාගතයේදී ලාභයක් අපි කියනවා අනාගතයේදී benefits ප්‍රතිලාභයක් ලබන්න මුදල් ළඟ තබා ගන්න එක. Demand for money to gain future benefits by investing in bonds is what do we mean by demand for money on speculative motive. So this simply means keeping money to gain future benefits, to have future benefits. Keeping money to invest in bonds and have future benefits. So here this money demand on speculative motive depends on interest rate. Depends on interest rate. Now when it comes to the earlier motives, two motives we discussed, those money demand on transaction motive and precautionary motive, both of them dependent on what? Income. Here the opposite happens. It depends on interest rates, not on income. It depends on interest rates. So we can derive that from the money demand and interest rate. So there's a negative relationship. When interest rate increases, money demand, when interest rate increases, money demand decreases when moving from this point to this point. When interest rate increases, money demand decreases. So there's a negative relationship, and money demand is a function of R, interest rates. Interest rates we show by simple R. So I would tell you, I could show you how this negative relationship happens. Think today the interest rates are decreasing. In this speculative motive, there's another information you should know, that is there's now here depends on interest rates, and there's a negative, we say there's negative relationship with interest rate. Negative relationship, this money demand and speculative motive having a negative relationship with R, interest rates. Also there's another information you should know, that means there's a negative relationship between interest rates, simple R, and prices of bonds. What's this? Prices of bonds. So the negative relationship එකක් තියෙනවා interest rates උයි bonds බැඳුම් කර prices වල between prices of bonds. So when interest rate increases, prices of bonds decreases. When interest rate decreases, prices of bonds increases. This is the negative relationship. So in this scenario, if interest rates are decreasing today, prices of bonds should be increasing for sure. In a future day, we say future expectation. So someday this interest rate might be again decreasing. Again increasing. If today it's decreasing, it will be increasing for sure in future. So if at that time interest rate will be increasing, what will happen to price of bonds? It will be decreasing. Think about this situation. today the price of a bond is 100 rupees and in future it will be going down to rupees 50. Now what you should do today is either to sell. There are two decisions you can choose, either between selling the bonds you are currently having or purchasing new bonds. So if today's price is 100 and in future it will get reduced up to 50 rupees, we should purchase or sell. We should sell the bonds. අද මට රුපියල් 100ට මගේ ළඟ තියෙන ටික විකුණන්න පුළුවන්, අනාගතයේදී රුපියල් 50ට මට විකුණන්න. ඒතර loss එකක් නේ, 50% loss එකක් වෙන නිසා මම අද මගේ ළඟ තියෙන ඒවා sell කරනවා. මම අද purchase කරන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද මම අද 100ට purchase කරොත් මට විකුණන්න වෙන්නේ කවදා හරි 50ට. So today, this is today current scenario. Today I sell bonds and what happens to money demand on speculative motive? මම අද bonds sell කරනවා කියන්නේ මගේ bonds අරගෙන මට කවර හරි සල්ලි දෙනවා. එතකොට money demand, like the money that is in my hand will be increasing. So there's a negative relationship between interest rates and money demand. The result should be like, we should derive the relationship between today's, what is happening today. We should derive the relationship from what's happening today. So there's a negative relationship. Notice another thing, there's a positive relationship between prices of bonds and interest rates. Don't think about the future expectation. Just to understand the situation, just to learn the scenario, we are going through this process. But the last decision, the last lesson that we should learn from this is the relationships between today's thing, like what is happening today, and the money demand, what are the current status of interest rates and prices of bonds and current state of money demand. So this is the relationship. The other thing, vice versa. If today prices of bonds, here it's decreased, so increasing, and prices of bonds will be definitely decreasing. What will be the future expectation? I'm not repeating these things. It will go down someday and prices of bonds will be increasing. So think today the prices of bonds are 50 and someday it will go up to 100 rupees. Then mama තියෙන ඒවා විකුණුවොත්ද හොඳ, අලුතින් ඒවා අද ලාභයට අරන් අනාගතයේදී 100ට විකුණුවොත්ද හොඳ? Today I am purchasing new bonds. Why? I can purchase at a lower price and then sell at a higher price. So මම අද සල්ලි දීලා bonds purchase කරාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? Money demand decreases. මගේ අතේ තියෙන සල්ලි එළියට යනවා. So here also you can see there's a negative relationship between money demand and interest rates. Here there's a positive relationship between prices of bonds and interest rates. That's all regarding money demand, and hope you all will be having benefits from watching this video.